Welcome back to the Unbiased Room. It's Wednesday, so we got another episode of Gridiron Hot Takes. So after another week of college football, what's on y'all minds? Ed, what you got?
Hey man, so my hot take for this week is going to be that this year Alabama nor Georgia will win the SEC. In the last 10 years, there's only been one other SEC champ, and that goes to LSU in 2019. You got to go all the way back to 2013 when Auburn won the SEC. But other than that, it's been dominance from Georgia and Alabama, back and forth, right? And we've seen Alabama and Georgia. They just went at it the last weekend. And by their standards, they're not playing to what we are used to seeing from those two programs. Georgia can't pass the ball that well. They got to rely heavily on their running game. Bama defense is not as stout as years past. You know, that defensive line gets shifted around very easily. So, and looking right now, the teams who are undefeated in the SEC: Ole Miss, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, A&M. Right. The team with the worst record in the SEC right now is Florida. Florida plays Texas, I think, coming up, right? And Florida's defense can hang with anybody. So I think this is the first time that we've seen a balanced SEC top to bottom for the most part, right? You know, there's still some pretenders out there that's going to get weeded out once they get more into conference play, right? But right now, Ole Miss 3-0 in conference. So once they get into conference play, we're going to see how Texas, the preseason number one, a lot of people's, national title contender. We're going to see Bama cannot drop this game against Vanderbilt. It's not a must win, but it's a must win for Kalen DeBoer. It's a must win for him, man. I'm saying he drops that game, he ain't gonna be able to come back to Alabama.
It's definitely a must win. Losing the Vandy 2 years in a row is crazy.
It's nonsense. Crazy.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a hell of a take, man. Anybody got any comments on that? Ron, man, you like you itching to say something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's just let the season shake out. I know this is a hot take, but Ole Miss. I know they're 3-0 right now, but you look at they play Kentucky, uh, Kentucky,
Arkansas.
and Arkansas, LSU, right?
Yeah.
They still got to play Georgia, and I think they still got I want to say, was it Texas A&M? But they got a
No,
ways
they
to
got
go,
they got Georgia, Mississippi State, who's good this year.
right?
OU, South Carolina,
OU,
and
that's what I'm
Florida.
thinking of. OU.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
so they got a ways to go, man. So, I say let's not crown them just yet.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, for sure.
name those teams that you said was undefeated in the SEC.
In the SEC, it's
Yeah.
got Ole Miss,
Mm.
Mizzou, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, A&M.
So do we really trust any of those teams to not fumble the bag like they do every year?
But hey, we
Like,
can't. Last year, we trusted Bama to take care of, we trusted LSU to take care of Florida. That was an upset. And that's the thing. And I'm saying it because from a perspective, I'm not even an SEC team fan or whatever, but
yeah,
it seems more level playing field. And
yeah,
we
it's
talked about
definitely
this a
even.
couple years ago,
Yeah.
right? That with the NIL, you know how before Bama and Georgia had like 5 stars sitting on the bench.
Yeah,
Yeah, them kids don't went somewhere else and they're playing right now. So I think this is the effects of NIL, players getting paid to play right away. So that's one,
okay.
competitive
Mm,
playing field.
Not a bad take. Not a bad take. We shall see. Scorching hot, though. I'll tell you that. Given the history there. Vic, what you got?
My hot take is this would be Dabo last year at Clemson.
Ooh,
So
Fortune.
Dabo been having confrontations a little static for like the past 2-3 years now while he's been at Clemson. They haven't been the Clemson small dominant Clemson because he's not really dominant. They just had a couple years where he was. But now that this year is off the rails, the team is gone. They're not making the playoffs. He already making comments about, oh, you could fire me, this, and that, going back and forth with the media. I think this is their last year. I think it's time for a change for both of them. Actually, and I think Dabo should learn from this and not be so stuck up in his ways. I think he kind of lost it when he got too good of himself and said he don't need the transfer portal, and he just wanted to stick to his ways, not adapt to the culture and what's changing in college football. So I think this Dabo last year in Clemson.
Mm. Scorching. Ron, what you got to say to that, man?
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. I think Dabo walks away on his own terms, and I think Clemson. I know they're getting, the what they say, the village people are getting restless, right? But I think that he's afforded the opportunity to not be fired, right? I think he has the opportunity to try to figure out what he needs to do to turn it around. He just started dabbling in the transfer portal this season. So, who's not to say that next, if you give him this season, this off season, to go and get more players, right, who may make more of an impact. So I just think it's kind of too early to be putting the sand on his grave right now.
I mean, is the seat getting warm? Yes. And I think that rant he had, that didn't help him out, right? Yeah, you've done great things, but this is a show me what you've done lately, type of environment. He's only won 2 of his last 7, right? And that's against SMU and earlier this year against Troy. Right? He's faced some stiff competitions and his and they were expected to be a contender for the national title. This is not a team that lacks depth or talent. It's just I don't know what it is. What did it say? They ate the rat poison. They drank the Kool-Aid. But you should that's something you should have try to coach out early on. I think he'll be there next year, in my opinion. But if they have a repeat now, if they nosedive for the rest of the year, he'll be on the hot seat for sure. But
And
I
when
think
the
he still comes
smoke is
back.
fire,
Um, yeah, I think he's still going to be the coach at Clemson
Mm-hmm.
next year. But yes, his press conference, man, he was super emotional, and that's you got to take not at a press conference, man. Save that for the locker room for your guys. Don't give it to the media for them to use as bait. You know what I'm saying? Clickbait, and
Right.
yeah, that's not a good look. So
when they're gonna lose a couple more times this season. Then on top of that, they're gonna lose to South Carolina. So, hey, if it's not this year, it's next year. And then another thing, like college football is changing. NIL changed everything. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't adapt with the times, if you're stuck in your ways to a certain thing, you got to adapt to the culture, especially with these players coming in. Money talks in NIL, and you have to connect with the players. We know Dabo's been known to. There's no problem with this. Be a scripted by the book to what he believe in, and that's that. And another reason why I think he don't want to dip into the transfer portal because the transfer portal players come from different schools and like different cultures. So reasons why he stick to the guys that want to go to Clemson and not trying to get guys from other areas and different cultures.
yeah,
And I just want to say one thing, just to add on what he said. Saban was even saying that he was saying like when we was talking about, they was asking him about the Mike Gundy thing, right? The Mike
Mm-hmm.
Gundy firing, and like he said, him, some of these other coaches, they're not used to this type of culture, right? They're used to that old school, like you said. Uh, Now with everything changing, you gotta start adapting. And
yeah,
like Gundy didn't adapt, right? Dabo, I think Dabo, like I said, I think Dabo gets one more season to adapt, but I think after that, I think that's it. Um,
yeah.
and it's just interest. It was interesting to hear Saban say that. especially like I said
Yeah.
about the old guard.
Yeah. Scorching take, man. Um, so sorry. Ron, what you got?
All right. So I know we kind of got this trend about coaches. I got Brian Kelly
Mm.
will um, be fired at the end of the season, and 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 it's a phrase I use: stats and facts, right? So expectations were through the roof at LSU during this off season.
Yeah.
Nussmeier was supposed to be, the possible number one overall pick in the draft, winning the Heisman Trophy. We was looking at LSU winning both the SEC and national championships, and it hasn't gone that way, right? Nussmeier averages only 6.8 yards per attempt, right? He has 7 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and that's the 7 touchdowns. He ranks 60th out of all quarterbacks in the country, right, with just 7. Aaron Anderson, 305 yards. He's only averaging 61 yards a game. Caden Durham's only averaging 53 yards a game with just
Mm.
two tutties, right? And this was supposed to be Brian Kelly, an offensive guru. I'm going to break it down even a little bit further, right? Against 4 FBS opponents, they've only averaged 19.7 points per game. Against 3 Power 4 opponents, they've only averaged 18.8 points per game. You look at Clemson, 17 points, Florida, 20, Ole Miss, 19, right? And that's 3 out of 3 games where they scored 20 or less. The defense against Arkansas, Ole Miss gave up 526 yards to Arkansas. LSU only had 254 yards against Ole Miss. Blake
Hey,
Baker.
man. Hey, real quick, Vic, go ahead, pick that cup back up, brother. You need another sip.
Another sip.
Hey, I'm trying to let him finish. I'm trying to let him finish.
Okay.
Man.
Blake Baker, we've been praising him about the turnaround that LSU had this year, right? But then their defense gave up 484 yards. They was 8 of 16 on third down, and it held the ball for 32 minutes, right, against Ole Miss. So I say all that to say this, man. Brian Kelly right now, his 2 big wins are against Clemson, who is 1-3, and Florida, who's 1-3. He still got games against South Carolina, Arkansas, and Western Kentucky. They all at home. Should win those games. He got Texas A&M at home, which is going to be a tough one. Then they go on the road to Vandy, Bama, and Oklahoma. I don't think Brian Kelly wins those games, and I think he has at least 3 to 4 losses, which is not going to be enough for the LSU faithful, and he's gone at the end of the season. And one last thing, they also, all the hype that came in, they had the number 1 transfer portal class as well too, which has not panned out.
All right.
Hold on, Vic. Let Ed go
Oh
first.
yeah,
I know
go
you got a
ahead.
spiel.
I'm just saying, man. Look, at Vandy, at Bama, at OU, and I agree, Ron. Like the defense have been giving it up. You know what I'm saying? Just taking it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't see them running the table, man. I really don't. And this is going back to what my point. Any one of those teams that we named off, even SC can take them out, right? A&M's offense has been looking pretty decent. A strong offense against a questionable defense. And that's the thing. It comes down, can Brian Kelly call the big game, right? Can he get his team ready to go for the big one? I don't know, man.
And I'm gonna go before you go because I know you got a lot on your mind, man. Yeah, when you go back to the schedule, man, this LSU was on a bye this week, and it is much needed.
Yeah.
They got to shore some stuff up before they welcome Lenore Sellers and South Carolina Gamecocks. Right after that, they're at Vandy, and then A&M at home. A&M is a legit team. Their defense is not so good, but LSU's offense is not good. So those kind of cancel each other out. LSU could end up dropping 5 games this season, and we would be like, man, not surprised. That's just looking at the schedule. It could happen. They could drop 4 more games to finish the season. So,
Well, let me throw a little one more.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't think nobody has ran over 100 yards as a running back for LSU yet this season,
Nope.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Nussmeier's season high passing 273 came against Southeastern Louisiana. So
Mm.
even that high powered offense is going to be
He threw
tested.
under he threw under 200 yards against Ole Miss last week too.
Yep, 197.
Yeah.
All right, man, there you go.
So my first thing I want to ask all three of y'all all in the military, so y'all don't smoke. But are y'all drunk or something? Like I'm just
Hey,
sitting
man,
here
it's been a rough
listening.
day, man. It's been a rough day,
I'm just
man.
sitting here listening. Yeah, we lost to Ole Miss. We shouldn't have lost. Speaking of Ole Miss, let's go. Let's go here. First of all, the first half. Okay, I give y'all everything y'all saying about our offense. Our offense is terrible right now. It's not what it should be. But that falls on Brian Kelly. We ran the ball 7 times in the first half. That's unacceptable. You can't run the ball if you don't try to run the ball. So the defense was rushing 3 pass rushers and dropping 8 in coverage. Run the ball. At least try to run the ball. So also Garrett is obviously hurt, and that's the situation of itself. And I don't know why Brian Kelly is trying to play it the way he is, but that's another thing. It's self-inflicted. But going back to the Ole Miss game, secondly, in the second half, they only scored 7 points. They only scored 7 points in the second half. One of their touchdowns came because we had 5 defensive penalties on one drive. Undisciplined. Another one came. It was 3rd and 20. We was about to get the ball back. Then West Weeks decided to push the quarterback, and it was a roughing the passer call, a new down. So regarding that Ole Miss game, we literally beat ourselves. No matter how bad the offense played, we lost by 6 points. We still had the chance to win the game at the end. Now, we did have a couple coverage busts in that defensive game, especially the last play and the last touchdown they had when it was trips and we only had 2 defenders over there. So that's on coaching. And y'all keep saying this Vandy every week. I keep hearing about Vandy. We're not losing to Vandy. That's one thing. We're not going to lose to Vandy. This defense, this defense is going to step up because this defense been there all season. No defense is going to stop anybody if they're on the field 52 plays in the first half. That's crazy. And it's not because they wasn't stopping anybody, because the first 2 draws was 3 and outs. We just couldn't move the ball. Secondly, South Carolina, cool. They got Lenore Sellers, but as a skill position, they don't have nobody. Nick Harbor, he's fast, he's a good athlete, but he's not a great receiver. So I think South Carolina is very easy to figure out offensively, and I think our defense, even if our offense don't score, our defense is going to win that game. And going into the season, and even still now, I know I'm long-winded, but I'm gonna finish. Clemson in Florida is still one of the best defenses in college football. No team has scored over 2 touchdowns against Florida defense, 2 or 3 touchdowns. So it's like Miami won 23 to whatever that score is, but Florida defense is legit. So yeah, we struggle with Florida defense, but good thing we do have a defense. But I don't see us losing to South Carolina, regardless if we lost to Ole Miss. And I know you're gonna get into Ole Miss, Lorenzo, but I know we lost this. We're not losing to South Carolina. We're not losing to Vandy. I think our only other loss is going to come to Bama unless I see significant changes. I think our only next loss will come to Bama, but we'll see. But yeah, y'all are crazy for saying that.
So,
He's a-
five
so,
losses is 5 losses is unacceptable at LSU, and that's we fired Ed Orgeron after he lost his third game.
no, I agree. So just real quick, just a rebuttal, real quick. So you think they're gonna beat Texas A&M, and you think they're gonna beat Oklahoma too?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be Oklahoma. Look, I know they got material, but yeah, we're gonna beat Oklahoma whether they got material or they don't, because it was Here's the thing: our defense last year, we blew out Oklahoma with the worst defense in the SEC last year. Our defense, Chambliss, yes, he's a different scrambler than Mateer. It's not like he was killing us. He killed us because our defense was literally on the field the whole time, and they still had multiple stops in that game where we could have. It's not like they scored 30 points; they scored 24 points, and that's with us giving them the ball on certain.
Hey
I
man,
mean,
they were 50% on third down.
it
Yeah,
was, but once
They were
you on the
50% on
field
third down.
for 52 plays in the first half, no defense is going to be able to your defense get tired. If you keep going 3 and out, you're going to be on the field. We lost field time of possession for like 15 minutes. Like they killed us in time of possession. The offense
Hey
got to
man,
help the
I
defense out.
think
Mm-hmm.
emotion is taking over, man.
yeah. All right,
Don't get me
man.
wrong. I'm still pissed about that game. Don't get me wrong. But Ron, I do agree with you. If Kelly don't make, me and Lorenzo was actually talking about this the other day. If Brian Kelly
Mhm.
don't make the playoffs, yes, he's out of there this year.
Yeah, yeah,
No matter the buyout is crazy, but he's out of there.
yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree.
So I agree with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad for that, but yeah.
No,
No,
you're
you
good.
good,
You're
man.
good, man.
You
You had to
good.
say
You
your piece
good.
about your team, man.
Yeah.
So back to what you were talking about, Florida defense. Yes, Florida defense is ranked 22nd in the nation. Clemson defense is ranked 77th. So just want to get that out
Yeah,
there. Not very good.
you can never count on Clemson. I told y'all they was frauds.
Fraudulent.
Fraudulent.
Hey, that the team that you only put up 17 points on. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's all I'm saying. All right, yeah. Okay. Well, that leaves me. My hot take. Ole Miss. I do not like the fact that I'm not sure what the AP voters are doing. How Ole Miss went from 13 to
The fucking
4.
fool.
They basically switched LSU and Ole Miss. And that is like, if you go back and look at what Lane has done, it's mess around and lose games that he's not supposed to at the
Yeah.
end of the year, right? So looking at their remaining schedule, they have Georgia, they have OU, they have South Carolina, they have Florida, and they got Mississippi State.
Hey, man.
I
Whew.
think, and this is just, I think he's gonna go 2-3 in those games, in those 5 games. 2-3, if he's lucky. I'm not sold on Lane. I'm not. He did it last year. We've seen this last year. They had a chance, right? They controlled their own destiny to make the playoffs last year. And what did they do? They dropped that game to Kentucky early at
Mhm.
home, and then they turned around and got upset by Florida.
Yep.
It's going to happen again this year. And the only reason I added Mississippi State because they're better than we projected them to be.
Yeah.
They actually got a
Mhm.
decent team this year. In
Yeah.
Florida, because Florida seems to pull it together the last 6 games of the season. I don't know what it is.
Hmm.
That's what they've been doing. That's when they start playing football. Um, yeah, I think they no. Do they fire Lane? They're not going to fire Lane, right? He's still winning 10 games, whatever. But he's going to drop games that he shouldn't at the end of the year. So and knock themselves out of playoff contention.
Pretenders. As I like, he's a pretender.
I like that.
Hey, Lane
He
secretly
doesn't.
want to be at LSU, so
So I agree with that, and I don't know if he goes 2-3, but I do agree that you look at the whole, right? The offense is pretty good, but the defense is not, right? Yes, they held LSU 254 yards, but their defense was ranked very low prior to going into that LSU game. Uh,
118th.
yeah, 118. Thank you. So I don't know. Against Georgia, I think that's going to be a loss, right? They beat Georgia last year, but I think Georgia gets some get back against them this year, and then I think they lose that OU game. Uh, I don't know about the Floridas and all that, but I think it's going to be tough sledding for Lane, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're the number 4 team in the country, either. So, um, like I said,
AP
I agree
voters
with
are
you. Yeah,
absolutely out of their minds.
yeah.
Lane
Yeah,
Kiffin
man.
always
And
fumbled the bag. Go ahead.
3 weeks in a row, tough SEC opponents, and I think that Egg Bowl he's gonna get got there because it's at Mississippi State. I think,
Telling you, Mississippi
I,
State looked good.
yeah,
Yeah, they do.
and if everything goes perfect for him, right? You talk about 2 weeks at Georgia, at OU, then back home in South Carolina. All your players have to stay healthy. You have to coach 3 hell of a games, and we haven't seen that from Kiffin. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I agree. They don't run the table. I think they take 2 L's. You know, in one of those games there, and it could be the Florida game. I mean, the Florida's offense wakes up. Defense is playing on par with anybody. So I don't see it running the table. But Lane will be Lane.
Wayne will be
Yeah.
Wayne.
Yeah, fuck Ole Miss.
Let's see.
Yeah,
He's oh man, got PTSD, man. PTSD still hurt. All right. Well, that does it for this episode of Gridiron Hot Takes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell us how we doing.
yes, sir.
Peace.
Later.
Peace.